Hey there folks, for this video I teamed up with Chair View to tackle a speech recently given by Dr. Jordan Peterson. Chair View will be covering this speech, and I'll cover the after action report. Make sure you go check out his channel for more great content like this. The link is in the description below.
Let's talk about free speech, shall we? The Trudeau government is falling for the SJW trigger, safe space nonsense. Their new bill, Bill C-16, is a bill that will limit free speech by making it illegal to discriminate based on gender identity. It's bad enough that the Liberals are now taking aim at mother and father and changing those terms, but this is just taking it a step too far. It will be illegal even if it's accidental. So if someone uses an improper pronoun and an SJW takes offense, it will be punishable by law. Dr. Jordan Peterson is a psychology professor at U of T who is refusing to use pronouns. He is standing up against this clear method of suppression and attack on free speech. He believes that gender pronouns are made up. There is a lack of evidence to support them, and I agree. So the backstory here is that he is speaking at a rally for free speech, but the radical SJWs try to silence him with a white noise machine. It doesn't work, as you will see. Lauren Southern was physically attacked at this event as well.
Well, as you can see, the opponents of free speech are capable of making a lot of inarticulate noise.
I love the stake he takes at them, and how he waits for the machine to have a break in the sound before speaking. Do these protesters not realize that if Trudeau passes the bill, that they will not be able to criticize people either?
Alright, so I want to tell you a couple of things about what this isn't about as far as I'm concerned. Right. I'm not going to talk about sexual politics. It's not my primary concern.
Maybe if more of us refuse to bend over backwards for these people, we could take our society back.
What I'm going to talk about is freedom of speech, and I want to tell you a few things about freedom of speech, okay? Because I've been thinking about this very carefully. I've been thinking about this very carefully over the last 2 weeks. And it's partly because of the videos that I've made.
Oh yeah, they hate what you have to say, because you articulate intelligently. You are a very formidable opponent, and it scares them.
But also because...
This is so fantastic. Somebody stepped in and broke that damn thing. Fucking children, I swear. And you're in university.
Right. So there's a reason I'm defending freedom of speech. And the reason for that is quite straightforward. The reason I'm defending freedom of speech is because that's how people with different opinions settle their opinions in a civil society.
Man, that anger in his voice. You can tell that he really cares about this subject. Civility is gone in our society because of these SJWs. These entitled, spoiled brats who think the world needs to cater to them.
Now here's what's happened with Bill C-16 and the surrounding legislation. Free speech is the mechanism by which we keep our society functioning. It's as a consequence of free speech and the ability to speak that people can put their finger on problems, articulate what those problems are.
They aren't interested in problem solving unless you do it by following every step they want you to. And of course, anything you do will never be enough. By the way, most of these people, I think, were trying to drown you out because the big words hurt their tiny brains.
Solve them and come to a consensus. And we risk losing that. Now, you can say there should be reasonable restrictions on free speech, and that's the case. You shouldn't be allowed to yell fire in a crowded theater.
They shouldn't be allowed to yell out misogynist in the quad or auditoriums either. They shouldn't be allowed to blow fucking whistles or use sound machines to silence us. They shouldn't be able to jump on stage, rip a mic out of Milo's hands, and shout their bullshit. Milo, could you please visit U of T and show these oversensitive, entitled assholes what's what?
And reasonable people can discuss and debate what those restrictions should be. But we can't debate the fact that putting restrictions on free speech is something dangerous beyond comprehension. And that's what we're faced with. Now, we've had laws passed in this country that regulate what people can say.
Sir, you aren't dealing with reasonable people here. They want to set and enforce the restrictions, and they want everyone who disagrees with them to be silenced. These people cannot see the forest for the trees. They can't see the impending storm, the consequences of their actions and demands.
Sorry, what people can't say, and that's reasonable, but it seems to me that we're in danger of crossing a line. Bill C-16 and its surrounding legislation, it's the first time I've seen in our legislative history where people are attempting to make us speak their language.
The line was crossed ages ago. We need to draw a line in the sand and say, enough is enough. We need to say,
not again. The line must be drawn here. This far, no farther.
We need to stand there like Gandalf and yell, you shall not pass! Right in the faces of these SJW types when they try to push past us or get in our faces. If you get into an encounter with these animals, stand your ground, and they will eventually give up because they're cowards.
And that's not something that I'm willing to do. Now, the radical left activists are trying to turn this into an argument about sexual politics, and it's only nominally about sexual politics.
I'm not willing to do that either. Sexual politics shouldn't even be a thing. You can self-identify as whatever you want, but that doesn't mean I have to acknowledge or kowtow to it.
It's about language that's designed to control our freedom of expression. I've received many letters and many comments from friends of mine and colleagues who've been criticizing everything I say. And no wonder. I don't speak perfectly, and my arguments aren't perfectly formulated.
They enjoy criticizing others for the quality of their content. But look at SJW videos. Most of them are filmed in vertical format with a shaky cell phone. I care about the content of your message more than I care about what your footage looks like, or how great a speaker you are.
Neither are anyone else's. And we have to be able to say what we have to say badly, or we won't be able to think at all. And I know where that leads. I've studied totalitarianism for 4 decades.
Well, just look at China or North Korea. Let's not even get into the selling off of the internet to one of these fascist countries. Free speech is free. You need to be able to say anything. It doesn't mean there can't be consequences for what you say, but good or bad, the right to say it should be protected. SJWs in this video have a right to speak. I just wish they would be more reasonable and logical so we can have a conversation.
And I know how it starts. It starts with the restrictions on freedom of speech. Don't take them. Here's what I recommend.
Yes, that is how it starts. I am more worried about how it ends. We need to make sure that it ends with overly sensitive people being told to accept that life is hard and things may not always go your way. Parents, stop coddling your children, please. Could you, maybe?
You all have consciences. You all have the ability to articulate.
Screaming like that is not articulation, you indignant cow. Here's where you hear one side opposing this man shouting shame, and the one supporting him chanting his name.
Of the radical left. We're going to check with your consciences. Check with your consciences. And say it carefully and well.
At this point, the ignorant, putrid social justice warriors get too loud to hear what Peterson is saying, of course, completely missing the point about talking rationally.
I've received information from people on the radical right in the past weeks.
Can't really hear the protester with her goddamn megaphone, like that's necessary. But it's the usual SJW bullshit. Yelling triggered is really helpful, you douche. How dare you turn our education systems into a joke, into a place where the only people allowed to feel safe are the social justice types. So basically, because someone broke their noise machine, you can see them trying to fix it for the whole time in other videos. They have resorted to yelling and bullhorns.
Alright, so I've received terrible information from people on the far right in the last weeks, and it's terrifying.
For sure, it is. Free speech is being censored, but mostly only for those who speak out against overly sensitive SJWs.
And to say clearly and carefully what you have to say. And that's all anyone can do.
I don't know if these people have one. They don't believe in saying what they have to say clearly and carefully. They believe in saying it as shrill, loud, and incendiary as possible. They don't want reasonable discourse, or to brainstorm problem-solving ideas. They want you to do whatever they ask, for fear of hurting their little feelings. Now, in Rebel Media's video, Lauren Southern does interviews and such, but the important part is this.
Round 1. Fight!
Fucking disgusting.
What you want?
Bitch, what do you want? She wants to not be assaulted. I hope she sues your ass, you fucking bitch. The fucked up thing, I think that person is biologically male going after her. But yet later on here, cops do nothing.
Round 2. Fight!
Apparently, women have to be trained like Ronda Rousey to go to these events now.
Yeah, so they did grab me and pull me in and try to punch me. They're the person right over there with the black lipstick.
That's assault right there.
Officer, I didn't see anything. I didn't see anything that happened.
You goddamn arrogant liar. You look ridiculous.
There's no reason to be
I didn't see anything.
You fucking piece of entitled trash. Lauren should have shoved her foot up your goddamn ass. This is what happens when rich parents let their kids have anything they want. This goddamn warrior looks like a giant condom, and she's never faced challenges in her life. I'm so mad I could spit.
Good sir. Thank you very much for adding your voice.
I bet you wouldn't say that to Lauren's face, you little chicken shit. You could see earlier, if they hadn't held Lauren back, she would have beat that girl's ass. I don't know what she said there besides spicy. But either way, be careful who you get snarky with. Not everyone will be as willing to ignore your childish bullshit. Why don't you come out of hiding, you coward?
Free speech is the alternative to violence. And there's lots of people who will like violence and who are waiting for the opportunity to use it. And I'm hoping that we can talk our way out of it.
Are you currently afraid for your job?
Not particularly.
This guy is badass. I love how he is taking a stand against these people.
I mean, I decided when I started this, look, lots of times in your life, you're choosing between things to be afraid of. In fact, you're always doing that in life. And I've known for a long time that if I was going to pick what to be afraid of, I was going to be afraid of not speaking rather than speaking.
Not speaking up means this type of censorship can continue.
You know, so, and I think, you know, people have commented and did today too on my bravery, and that isn't really how I see it. I see that I'm taking the path of least resistance.
If this rally was the least amount of resistance, it would be scary to see what full-blown opposition looks like. Alright. I know that I was a bit more aggressive here, but this video just pisses me off. People You are not children. Grow the fuck up. This bill would apply to SJWs as well as their detractors. This is not Nazi Germany. This is not a fascist regime. It's Canada. But of course, this is happening all over the world, especially on university campuses. Peterson and other educators are not paid to spare your fees and make you feel special. They're there to educate you, and if your information is wrong, to help you learn what's the truth. Please visit the petition against Bill C-16. As far as I can tell, you don't have to be Canadian to sign it. Let's tell Trudeau, Hillary, and any other possible future leader who identifies with the SJW rhetoric that enough is enough. Keep free speech free. Anyway, I will hand this off to the alien shitlord now. Enjoy.
Today, folks, we are about to witness the Tumblrette community in their natural habitat. Let's watch and see how they interact with civil society.
Peterson, do you have any comments on the Nazi presence at your protest? The presence of Nazis and white supremacists assaulting people at your protest. Do you have any comment on that?
Yeah, I don't like Nazis.
A question asked and answered. But wait, that's not the answer the SJW wanted. Let's watch as they attempt to browbeat the male into a preferable response.
Then
Why were they here?
Well, how can I answer
are there views in alignment with yours? At some point, you have to
that's a
realize.
foolish question.
Unable to make their false allegations stick, the SJWs try a new strategy.
Look, if you want to know what my views are,
I've watched all of your videos.
Instead of listening to the response, the SJW interrupts and blatantly lies.
Yes.
Including...
Yes, I have.
then why would you ask such a question?
Because this is my interpretation of your videos.
Apparently,
That's
I
not-
wanted...
All of the people who arranged the protest against you watched all of your videos.
It's like, do you want to
I have
disavow...
150 videos on YouTube.
No, your lectures, which sparked the debate.
Caught in her lie, the ravenous hyena, SJW, immediately begins to backtrack.
I have
want to disavow the
150.
support
Could you let me talk to her for a moment?
Don't call me that, please.
So, I have 150 lectures on YouTube. There's 500 hours of my views.
Do you really
If
think that
wanna
you're
find
worth
out
all
what
of
they
that
were-
time?
So look, I will answer your question, okay? I've studied Nazism for a very long time. It's been 4 decades, and I understand it very well. And I can tell you that there's some awful people lurking in the corners, and they're ready to come out. And if the radical left keeps pushing the way
That
it's
sounds
pushing,
very much like a
they're
threat.
going to come.
That sounds very much
That's
like a
not
threat. That sounds very much like a threat.
What we've just witnessed, ladies and gentlemen, is a classic debate tactic called moving the goalpost. In this case, the question is answered in such a way that the SJW has no response to win the argument, at which time a new argument is introduced in order to take the old argument which the SJW lost off of the main focus.
Would you like to disavow the physical violence? Trans people were physically assaulted at this rally in your name. Would you like to disavow that violence?
At this point, the rational male must either switch topics and defend a new accusation thrown at him, or continue on with the topic they were originally discussing. This is moving the goalpost at its finest.
Yes.
So you wish that didn't happen, and you want to, and I'm going to post this online that you would like people to be more accommodating of trans people and people of color.
At this point, all rational discourse has left the debate, and it's now about feelings.
There was no violence at our protest, though. There was violence at your protest. So what does that say about our views?
It's not my protest. You know, asking me continually freighted questions isn't very helpful if you actually want to have a dialogue. You have no idea if I'm your enemy. You have no idea about me.
You won't use my pronouns, so I'm pretty sure you're my enemy, yes.
And there you have the crux of the argument. You don't advocate the government forcing people to use my pronouns. Therefore, you are Hitler. Yeah, that makes so much sense.
I think that's what's happening is that we're pushing over a line we shouldn't cross. The newest legislation is requiring people to use.
But you are aware that that's being put in place so that we can't get fired. We need to be written into the Canada human rights legislation, or we can be fired for our gender identity.
I'm not aware of that.
Well, then why did you make a fucking video about it? I've been denied housing as a trans person. These rights would protect me. Denied housing?
That's right, ladies and gentlemen, or however you would like to be known. Ask the gentleman a question, and then when he starts to answer, just start yelling and screaming over the top of him. That's very constructive.
I'm concerned. That's a terrible thing. It's too bad that that's happened.
So you don't want us to, but you don't want us to have protections in the Human Rights Bill that will allow me to have employment, allow me to have housing security, allow me to have medical care. That's what this is about. It's not about infringing on your rights or making you learn a new fucking pronoun.
I don't think that's what it's about.
What the gentleman was trying to say while he was being shouted down continually was that he didn't believe that infringing on people's First Amendment rights was necessarily the best way to protect other people's rights.
What evidence do you have that attempting to transform the way that people use pronouns is going to produce a positive effect on society?
So close to providing a rational answer, and yet he was interrupted again by the fifis. Not the fifis.
Society. We are not looking for special treatment. We are looking to be able to integrate ourselves into society. And if you refuse to refer to us by our pronouns, which is not allowed to ask, singular they pronouns go all the way back to Shakespeare. It's not a new thing. If you refuse to let us integrate ourselves into society, you create alienation that results in suicide. We are in a suicide epidemic right now. What are you contributing to this as a psychologist?
Man, you know, you're almost impossible to talk to. You're so full of rhetoric. That it's impossible to listen to you. I would be more than happy to listen to you.
Yeah, really.
I was devoid of rhetoric. And I don't really think I am a rhetorician. Just so you know that. And you know, it's very hard to listen to you. I mean, it's very hard to attend to you
because
you rattle on in with your ideological speech.
It's not ideological. It's personal. That's what
It's not personal. You haven't said a personal thing.
Okay, let's see if we can find something that's worth responding to here.
It tends to, even if you didn't mean it to, it attracts people like neo-Nazis and fascists.
Nazis again.
I have a calm, rational question.
Okay.
I won't get emotional with you. Who is this legislation harming? Who is
harming anybody who wants to use their own words?
Okay, this is a good start. We've got a dialogue going. We have real questions. We have real responses. No one's being interrupted. Let's see if we can build on this.
So, in what capacities? Be specific.
Look, it's important that people are able to use their own words.
Okay.
Because that's how we think. And if the government starts legislating how we think...
So if I wanted to call you she...
Are you going to let me...
No.
Oh, so close. That was almost good.
I'm sorry, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Okay, someone new. Let's give this a shot.
Do you realize that right now, if you were to kill a trans person, because only for the sole reason that they're trans, that would not be considered a hate crime? Sure, they could be convicted of murder, but not of a hate crime. And that's what this bill...
Yeah. Well, then why don't you come hang out with us white dudes? I mean, we're not non-binary or transgender, but people can kill us because we're white, and that's not a hate crime either. You know, come join the crowd. Well, folks, that's our wild adventure into witnessing the SJW Tumblerina in their natural habitat. What conclusions can we draw from this video? Well, we only watched about half of it. I think we can safely say that there are two striking lessons we can draw. First, they will never actually debate you. Their goal is not to have a civil and honest discourse where ideas are considered rationally. They may say they will debate you, but their version of a debate is to spew out a string of questions and then never let you properly respond to them. If you do manage to get past their bluster and sloganism, they will intentionally derail the debate by changing the topic or by introducing their fifis into it. Second, it's all about identity politics. With over 500 hours of YouTube videos to critique and criticize, the only argument they can make is, Nazis support you, therefore you are a Nazi. And even though there's a simple explanation for this, they won't listen to it. Jordan Peterson was standing up for free speech. On this one single issue, the alt-right happened to agree with him. But try telling that to a Tumblerina. Once again, I'd like to give a big thanks to Chair View. This war on the First Amendment being conducted by the SJW community is utterly disgraceful. They have no concern for anyone's rights but their own. Instead of having a reasonable debate, they attempt by any means necessary to silence their critics. And when they speak, the a priori issue is their feelings, not any rational or legitimate discourse which may lead to a constructive debate. I hope you all enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe. But most importantly, have a great night.